video is coming at a great time in my life. I feel like I should be talking about like my view or my take on going through hard things in life, and I've been in a state where my trauma's pretty activated, especially the last few days, but definitely the last week. I've been eating a lot more and don't feel like I can control it, like binge eating. Like sometimes I don't even want to eat, but I keep eating and I feel like I can't stop it. But I'm just going through a lot of stress. I think going through difficult things in life suck. Yeah, they really suck. But I think it's also necessary. It's part of life. How can we know the good without the bad? How can we know happiness without sadness, joy, that kind of thing. Regardless of if it's necessary or not, it's going to happen anyways. I've never known anyone who had a perfect life, especially people who pretend they have a perfect life, like everything's good for them. They don't. That's one thing I really don't like about social media. It's all the fake that was on there. Anyways, I think it's important to grow and to learn from it, and especially like I listened to a podcast called The Hidden Brain, and it talked about going through hard things in life. Really interesting. I'll have to share the link for it in the description of the video, but it talks about how America as a culture, as a society, has this belief of like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I bought into that a lot. Going to the Marines, that was a pretty big saying when I first joined. I don't really think that's true. I think there's two things that can come from going through hard things. One, you become more callous to it. I'll say three things. You become more callous to it and just become bitter and resentful, and you don't really progress in life. You're just kind of stuck there in that experience. The second thing, you understand going through hard things in life can make you stronger. So you keep doing hard things. You keep doing hard things to push yourself to, as a lot of like motivational people say, you have to go through hard things in life to find out who you are, which I do agree with that. But just being in hard things constantly without taking the time for self-analyzation and reflection, things kind of desensitizes you to those hard things. And when other people go through hard things, it can be pretty easy to judge and say, hey, why are you acting this way? Just get over it. Everyone goes through hard things, which I think is taught to men a lot, just suck it up. But I think the third thing that can come from this is becoming more compassionate, empathetic, understanding of other people's situations and your own. We do need to go through hard things in life, but not just to become calloused and desensitized, but to become honestly more Christ-like. Christ went through the hardest thing anyone would ever go through, because he went through everything anyone does go through, anyone can go through. He felt everything that I feel. Regardless of not if we've even been in that situation before that someone else is going through, we can still kind of put ourselves in their shoes and be like, hey, yeah, that would be really hard. And just because my hardest hard seems like it would be harder than someone else's hardest thing they've gone through, that might be true for me, but if that's the hardest thing they're going through, that's the hardest thing they've ever experienced.
Tripod was made for Kiara-sized people. Speaking of hard things today, my battery died on the camera when I was heading out the door. So that's why I didn't have any filming throughout the day. Today it was hot today. It was like 106. Temperature reached 106, but it felt like 111, 112. And the school that I am in, the building, didn't have AC today for the first half of the day, so that really stunk. Going back to hard things, I always thought this like, oh, the more hard things I go through, the stronger I'm going to be. But I didn't really know, like, stronger what. I've met a lot of people who've been through a lot of hard things, and they've become very bitter and angry towards other people, other situations, their situations. They're just like resentful and angry all the time, and I don't blame them, because that was me for a while. Who am I to judge how someone else reacts with the hard things that they go through in life? That's not my place to judge. But it's very difficult living that way, and it just drains you. What is becoming stronger from hard trials, hard things you go through in life? To be honest, that's up to you. But what do you want to get better in? How do you want to grow as a person? Not like just as in skills, like hard, tangible skills, like running or lifting weights. Are you becoming a better person through that trial or from that trial? And it doesn't just happen. You know, it takes effort. It takes a lot of effort to improve. For me, the things that I want to improve on: being a more compassionate person, more understanding of other people's situations, and trying to understand where they're coming from. I want to be better at analyzing myself, figuring out areas that I'm struggling in and areas I'm doing well in, to become a more kind and gentler person. Becoming that through hard times is totally possible. It just takes patience and effort, consistently working at it and becoming better, analyzing yourself and how you react to things. And honestly, a huge thing for that is journaling. Journaling is huge, for me at least, when it comes to reviewing my day and different situations I've been in, so that I can then get it out of my system, and then I can process it, you know, like actually get down to what matters for myself. Sometimes I'll journal for half an hour, just getting all my emotions out on the paper, because when all my emotions are out on the paper, then I can actually think clearly, understand what's going on in my mind. Mindset is a really good book by Dr. Carol Dweck. I love that book. Like I mentioned the podcast earlier, The Hidden Brain. But what are your values as a person? And while you go through hard things, are you still acting within those values that you have for yourself? You know, and also going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. It is healthy. I hope you guys realize how much help that you do need. That everyone needs a third party that's not dependent on them to bounce things off of. Those are my thoughts and feelings on going through hard things. Hard things are necessary for growth, but there's more than just going through hard things to grow. I love you guys. Hope you liked this video. If you got something out of it, give it a thumbs up, and I will work on not forgetting to charge the battery. I swear it was charged, I promise, and then it died, and I'm sorry, but it's all good. You're beautiful and I love you. Got some chicken, the noodles, and veggies heating up in the microwave. Here's the most amazing chef ever. Smile!
I barely even made it.
Kebab.